Eldergrove was a village shrouded in ancient woods, a place where sunlight struggled to pierce the dense canopy. The villagers lived simple lives, their days ruled by the rhythms of nature. At the heart of Eldergrove lived Alara, the village healer. Her cottage, nestled beneath a gnarled willow, was a sanctuary. Alara's touch was said to mend broken bones and soothe troubled minds. She moved with a quiet grace, her eyes reflecting the wisdom of the forest. Alara was loved, she was trusted. She knew the secrets of herbs and the language of the forest. When a child fell ill, it was Alara who arrived with her tinctures and poultices, her presence calming frantic parents. When a farmer cut his hand in the fields, it was Alara who stitched the wound, her needle moving with the precision of a seasoned surgeon. Years passed, and Alara's legend grew. She was more than a healer. She was a symbol of hope, a beacon of light in their often unforgiving world. The villagers brought her gifts of honey and freshly baked bread, their faces etched with gratitude. They told stories of her kindness, her compassion, and her uncanny ability to heal even the most grievous wounds. Yet, beneath the surface of their adoration, a darkness stirred. The same villagers who praised Alara would soon come to fear her. The seeds of envy were sown, taking root in the fertile ground of ignorance. The whispers began subtly, like the rustling of leaves in a gentle breeze. They started with the village gossip, a woman named Agatha, whose tongue was as sharp as any knife. Agatha had always envied Alara's position in the village, her ability to command respect and admiration. Agatha began to plant seeds of doubt, her words dripping with venom. She suggested that Alara's remedies were not the work of nature, but of something darker, something unholy. She hinted at strange rituals performed under the light of the moon, rituals involving whispered incantations and the sacrifice of animals. At first, the villagers dismissed Agatha's accusations. They knew Alara, her goodness, her purity. But Agatha was persistent, her whispers growing louder, more insistent. She preyed on their fears, their superstitions. Slowly, like a creeping vine, doubt began to take root in their hearts. A series of misfortunes befell the village. A blight struck the crops, a strange illness afflicted their livestock, and a sudden storm flooded the river, destroying their meager harvests. Fear turned to panic, and in their desperation, they sought someone to blame. Agatha, with her cunning words and malicious intent, pointed her finger at Alara. She claimed that Alara's powers had waned, that she was no longer able to appease the forces she had once controlled. She declared that Alara was responsible for their misfortune, that she had turned her back on the village and embraced the darkness. The villagers, blinded by fear and fueled by Agatha's poisonous whispers, turned on Alara with shocking ferocity. They stormed her cottage, their faces contorted in rage, their eyes burning with betrayal. They accused her of witchcraft, of consorting with demons, of bringing ruin upon their once peaceful village. Alara, her heart breaking at their accusations, tried to reason with them. She reminded them of her years of service, of the countless lives she had saved, of the comfort she had brought. But their ears were deaf to her pleas. Fear had twisted their hearts, leaving no room for reason or compassion. The villagers dragged Alara from her cottage, her cries for mercy lost in the roar of the angry mob. They marched her through the village, past the homes she had blessed with her healing touch, past the families she had comforted in times of grief. They reached the cliffs overlooking the churning sea, the wind whipping their hair, the salt spray stinging their eyes. The storm raged around them, mirroring the tempest in their hearts. Lightning flashed, illuminating Alara's face. Her eyes filled with a profound sadness. She looked at the villagers, her former friends and neighbors, and saw only fear, hatred, and the reflection of their own darkness. With a final cry of despair, they cast Alara from the cliffs, her body swallowed by the raging sea. The storm intensified, the wind howling its fury, the waves crashing against the rocks like the agonizing cries of a tortured soul. Alara was gone, but her spirit, trapped between the world of the living and the realm of the dead, would not find peace. She became the Whispering Wraith, forever bound to Eldergrove, a chilling reminder of their betrayal. Section 4. The Legacy of Whispers. Decades turned into centuries. The village of Eldergrove rebuilt itself, the memory of Alara fading into legend. The whispers of her supposed witchcraft lingered, passed down through generations. The cliffs from which she was cast became known as the Witch's Leap, a place shrouded in fear and superstition. Then came Thomas, a young man with a thirst for knowledge and a healthy skepticism towards old wives' tales. He had heard the stories of the Whispering Wraith, but he dismissed them as mere folklore, the ramblings of superstitious minds. He believed in logic, in reason, in the power of observation over blind faith. Thomas arrived in Eldergrove on a bright spring morning, the air alive with the scent of wildflowers and the sound of birdsong. He carried with him a worn, leather-bound journal, its pages filled with his observations on the natural world. He was determined to document the flora and fauna of the region, to unravel the secrets hidden within the ancient forest. The villagers welcomed him with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. They warned him of the Whispering Wraith, urging him to stay away from the cliffs, especially at night. But Thomas, undeterred, dismissed their warnings as mere superstition. He believed that there was always a rational explanation for every phenomenon, a logical answer to every mystery. Section 5. Echoes of Truth. As Thomas explored the woods surrounding Eldergrove, he began to notice strange occurrences. He heard whispers carried on the wind, faint and ethereal, like voices from beyond the grave. He saw fleeting shadows at the edge of his vision, glimpses of a figure that vanished as quickly as it appeared. At first he dismissed these experiences as tricks of the light, the product of an overactive imagination. But as the days turned into weeks, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched, followed. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, seeming to emanate from the very trees themselves. One evening, as the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the forest floor, Thomas stumbled upon a clearing. In the center stood a gnarled willow tree, its branches drooping towards the ground like the arms of a weeping woman. The air hung heavy with a palpable sadness, a sense of loss so profound it took his breath away.